Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the Ouch Potato Podcast. I'm Ben and joining me as always is my partner in crime, I guess. Josh, how you doing, man?
Well, I thought you weren't telling anyone about the crimes, Ben.
Well, you know, it's content, isn't it?
Well, you know what's something I was just thinking about?
Shoot.
If someone wanted to watch all of these podcasts, it would take them 5 hours, including this one.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
That's
like
mad
everything so far.
That's crazy that some people would dedicate 5 hours out of their life to us.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably not a ton of people. Just because people watch it doesn't mean that they make it all the way through.
I'd like to think they do, though, but...
Like, I wonder if there's ever been a moment in the podcast where people are like, all right, I'm done. That's not, nope, nothing, nope.
We should, I think we should say, at the end of the podcast, we should say a word for people to comment down below. Just see how many people do actually watch to the end.
Oh, but people are too smart. They're listening to this right now and they're just going to go to the end of the podcast, listen to it, and then comment it.
That's a good, but we do have smart listeners. That is true.
Well, we'll see. Here's the test.
Yeah, we might do it at, like, who knows, 20 minutes in. You never know, so you got to listen to the whole thing.
So listen to the special word.
Okay, I'm interested to see what the word's going to be. Right, anyway, how you been, man? What you been doing? It's been a week.
It has been why has it been it hasn't been a week.
It's been a week in the land of podcasts.
Has it? When was the last time we recorded?
Well, I mean...
it was only like last weekend, Ben.
I mean, it's been a working week-ish.
Right. Well, not a hell of a lot's been going on recently, really. Just been... yeah, it's been a bit lonely here in the Slogan Man Productions. I've only got my editors to talk to and they get boring. Geordie and Jelly are both away right now. Geordie is in Toronto. Ooh. And Jelly is somewhere in Europe. I don't know. I don't really care. So, yeah, it's been a bit lonely.
Well, if you need me to come over to New York, I'll be happy to do that. No? Okay, fine. I'll just go to Toronto and see Geordie or something. He's nicer to me, so I could do that. So you've literally done nothing. It's been that boring of a week for you. Well, not
I've been recording. I have I've been preparing my office for a couple of different types of videos recently, which is going to be cool. Fair. Some VR, virtual reality.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. Well, I'm sure people can go check out your channel. He needs the subs, so go check him out. Yep. Slogan Man on YouTube.
What have you been doing, Ben?
Well, what have I been doing? Not a lot. I did go to a housing development yesterday, like a new build place. Literally no idea why. I'm not buying a house for a few years, but we just wanted to go check out the build quality. We kind of get thrills out of going to see new houses being built, so ended up going there. Ended up having a massive chat with the girl who was working there, who...
So you basically just go to places you can't afford to feel good?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's cool. That's really nice.
Yeah, it was good. I told her a bit about you as well, and she was very jealous.
Ben, I have a girlfriend.
Oh, no, not in that sense, man. She wasn't jealous in that sense. Yeah, no. But just jealous of your accomplishments, I suppose. Especially when I told her that you were the same age.
I make gaming videos. Yeah, no, that's cool.
You were the same age as her. She almost... I could see her just die inside when I told her that, considering she was sat all alone in this sort of like... kind of porter cabin place. It was quite depressing. She just also for some reason told us that her boyfriend had broken up with her that day. So it was not a good day for her. But it makes you feel better. She was
really like dumping her feelings.
Yeah, she was taking it well, though. Well, no, she was telling us because we were saying.
Wait, sorry, her boyfriend dumped her that day.
That day, we were basically telling her about how we were thinking about going back to LA for an extended period of time next year, and she was like, "Oh, I was going to go to Mexico for my 21st." Well, that's amazing, sick. And she was like, "Well, yeah, but then we were going to book it today, and then my boyfriend told me that he didn't want to spend $2,000 on a holiday. He probably wasn't going to go on because he doesn't want to be with her anymore." So
how long had they been together?
I didn't ask, but she didn't. She was taking it very well, so I can't imagine it would have been that long.
Yeah, because like I'm like to be honest, I was thinking this the other. I mean, like how many? Not for any reason I wasn't thinking this, but for how many like relationships can you end it in a day realistically? Like,
yeah,
does that make sense? Like, yeah. They must have been together for like a really short amount of time to just be like, all right, you know what? I'm off. I'm out of here.
You know, she's not actually had the most the best luck, because I even said to her like, because obviously we're not planning on buying for a few years. So I said to her like, how long are you guys building in the area for? And she's like, oh, this is actually the last development we're doing in Norfolk. Then I was like, no. And she said, yeah, the worst thing was I actually relocated here for this job. But she paid rent on a place for a year up front, and then a month after being here, she was told
they're off.
So she's paid a year up front rent on this place, and then lived there for about a month, and then she's moved back to where she was from.
Wow, that's kind of sad.
So she's not having a great time, bless her. But you know, she seemed cheery, so it's all good.
Well, I mean, I gotta feel bad for her. Who would want to move to Norfolk?
Well, it's quite nice here. I mean,
it's a bit biased.
Well, it's all right. I mean, I'd rather be in California, but you know, you can't have it all.
I'd rather be anywhere else.
Not anywhere else. There are some very dodgy places in the UK. So
true, very true, Ben.
Yeah, I don't want to go up north, for example.
No one does.
Apologies if any of Amber's family are listening.
Or any northern people, Ben.
Or any northern people in general. I am actually part northern, so I don't really shout about that. But, you know, so I kind of feel I have a bit of a right to lay a bit of roast on the northerners.
Shit on people. All right.
Something like that. Okay, anyway, moving on. I watched a video the other day that I wanted to discuss. It's by a UK YouTuber who actually, it turns out he lives in Norwich as well. I didn't know that, but his name is Jackmate, and he's got like 200,000 subs.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's not like he's 200k subs, but he's not massive or anything. But he's got.
What does that make your channel then?
Oh, minuscule. But he's got. By the way, subscribe. OHTIB. Just Google it. YouTube. It's fine.
Editor, cut that out. Oh wait, you're the editor.
I am the editor, so that is staying in. Yeah. Anyway, so his channel is all about him just ranting about stuff, and he did one the other day, which I thought was quite a brave move, considering you're not really allowed to badmouth other YouTubers. Well, I mean, you are allowed, but you don't because it could be considered career suicide. But he'd basically just been to this YouTube event in the UK, Summer in the City, and he's at
I'd been to that before.
I've been to that with you. That was the first time I ever met you, Josh. We hung out for the weekend at Summer in the City.
That was when me and Geordie went.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it's the first time I met Geordie as well, I think. Yeah.
Why were you there?
I was planning on going anyway, and I was gonna try and.
Why?
Just to kind of, because basically there were like YouTubers there that I liked and stuff. I thought it'd be cool to hang out.
There you go. The truth comes out. Ben,
you knew what the answer was, and you just wanted to.
I just was baiting you. Yeah.
Yeah. We've already established I'm a star fucker. We've said that in previous episodes. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going completely off tangent. So this guy was basically he's friends with the right people to be enough to be invited to go and stuff. And
sure.
You know, he has like heard that there's this special announcement. There's going to be a special YouTuber who hasn't been to Summer in the City for years going, and it's going to be a big deal. And he was like, "Oh, that's quite interesting. I wonder who this is." And it was.
You have me on the edge of the seat, Ben. Can you get to a point?
I should also point out that Summer in the City is very much about like vloggers and stuff. It's not really about gaming. Like you and Geordie went, and that was the first year they'd ever tried bringing gamers in, and
it sucked ass.
It really was not a gamer place to be.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So. It turned out this massive star going was a guy called Ollie White. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ollie White, but he is like good friends with like Joe Sugg and Zoella, people like that. I don't know if you know who.
Get to the point, Ben.
Yeah. So anyway, as if he made a big deal about that, wasn't a big deal anyway. I mean, Ollie's got like 2.8 mil subs, so he's not small. But the whole point, the main thing was that. Well, there's several things, but the thing that really stuck out to me was Ollie had this manager with him, a guy in a three-piece suit, who was telling everyone around him, anyone trying to meet him, we have a no selfie policy. And literally, Ollie would not take, and like someone came up to have a selfie with him, he actually recoiled back and like kind of looked at his manager. His manager was like, he doesn't take selfies. And it got me thinking about kind of stuff we've touched on before, but we've never gone in this direction, about honesty with fans. I think I want.
Wait, so what is he? Self-conscious?
I have no idea why he had a no selfie.
Or does he want to sell him?
I don't know. I mean, apparently, like another thing that he was getting at was that he had his own Ollie White shop at this event, and he was selling like t-shirts at high prices, which were really. He showed the designs; they were terrible. There's like a little black circle with Ollie written in the middle, selling them at extremely high prices compared to what they would have cost to be made. Which I get is business, but. He also, I actually watched a few more of this guy's videos, and I saw an old one which he was talking about a YouTuber, which when you look in the comments, everyone is saying is Ollie White, and it's from back in the day when Ollie had like 20k subs, and he was desperately trying to get a collab with Jackmate. And Jack was like, oh, I don't really want to do it, type thing. And eventually, like a bit later on, he felt bad and was like, look, I'll do it with you. So he messaged me back and said, look, let's do a collab. And at this point, Ollie had now, well, we think it was Ollie, had now got above 29k, which is what Jack had. And he said, oh, not being funny, man, but it's not really in my interest to do a collab with you now because you're not going to be able to help me out because I've got more subs than you. And I guess if I'm not, again, I'm disclaimer, I'm not saying that was Ollie White, but it sounds like it was. And I just wanted to know how, I know we've already said that a lot of YouTubers exaggerated, but I wanted to know, all right, don't name names.
Oh my God, Ben.
Hey, I'm trying to get the point across, Josh.
You're telling me a short story here.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So
so far, it's not been interesting.
It has been interesting. Anyway, I want to know, have there been any YouTubers you've met that come off completely, and I don't mean just like, you know, for example, like Geordie's not as wacky as he is in the videos, but I mean YouTubers who are actual like a-holes compared to how they come across on camera? You don't have to name names, obviously.
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, the thing is like everyone's different, but most people aren't like what they are on camera. I mean, actually, I'd probably say everyone isn't what they're like on camera. So it's hard to say. I mean, it's like people by now should expect it. To be completely honest,
yeah. But, like, but have you ever met any YouTubers who are like kind of like self-entitled? Like,
well, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's
good that none have really stuck out to you because that
well, no, they have. Just I'm so used to just like ignoring it. Like it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't get to me. Like if people are like that, I just ignore it. I don't like make a video on it. Because I just don't, I think it's dumb. I compare making a video on someone complaining about them being at an event and like selfies and stuff. I compare that to like the whole people making videos on Jake Paul stuff. It's just the same thing. People are just like, this person's doing this, and someone else doesn't agree. I'm going to tell everyone my opinion. Like I almost think it's worse going around like being like, this person is bad. Everyone listen to me. This person is bad. Like just get over it. No one cares. If that person is bad, then people wouldn't be following him around trying to get a picture.
Yeah, I also felt it was kind of like he was trying to big himself up. He was saying like, you know, why wouldn't you want to take selfies with your fans? They're the reason you're there. And he was saying, and then he went on to say, I would do anything I could to do with my fans. I'm thinking, you're shitting on this guy to try and make yourself look a bit better. Or I couldn't decide if he was doing that or if he was just shitting on this guy because he thought he was a...
Did he put him in the title?
No, I don't think he did. I think it was more about Summer in the City. Let me double check because I'm intrigued about this. His latest was it was Why I Dislike Ollie White. Yeah, that was his video.
Well, there you go. That's just like, I don't know, just like crappy. It just sounds like it's just like, oh, here's my opinion. Everyone listen to me.
Well, actually, that makes me ask a question though. Obviously, like I say, him putting that in there, I know he's in the grand scheme, he's a small YouTuber, 200k subs, but like I say, that is potential career suicide to a degree, bad mouthing other YouTubers. So the
not
question
really.
is,
not
do you know
really.
I was gonna say not on your channel obviously, but here on the podcast, for example, would you like out another YouTuber if you felt they were doing something they shouldn't be doing, or would you rather protect?
Only if it's, I don't know, only if it was. It would only be to like protect someone or help someone. Like I wouldn't just do it for no reason. Like, I would never do what that you were talking about just then. Like it just is dumb to me. That's just like it's like a case of just like you got something better to do.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, how do you think? I think I heard this on another podcast. Was an example was Ellen in America. She's got a rule that no one in the studio is allowed, like no audience members. I think it maybe even stems to crew, but I'm not sure, are allowed to look her in the eyes. Now, obviously, when it comes down to it, we're all humans. Do you know what I mean? You're no better than me.
I'm already like, where's the proof?
You don't believe it necessarily.
Well, it's just hard to say. Like, it's hard to say. It just sounds like one of those things that like could be easily like, because you got to think about it in this respect. Like, everything comes down to like schoolyard politics at the end of the day, and tell me that doesn't sound exactly like something you'd get in the schoolyard. Like
Chinese
you
whispers.
You have one kid who's like, oh, that guy doesn't like it when you walk behind him, so. And that kind of just like spreads around, and not everyone is an opportunity to walk behind him and test that out. So if it keeps spreading around. And like just keeps going around, and you can't know whether that was like actually what happened, like whether that is actually the truth, because you're not. The majority of people who are talking about that have never even been within like a mile of her.
Yeah, true. I should probably point out that whenever we hang out with Josh, there is a written rule that we're not allowed to talk to him for more than 30 seconds at a time.
Of course. That's only expected.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of standard, but that's what he tells us anyway. I just go with it. Okay,
you smell, Ben. You smell.
Well, that's a problem I've had since birth, and it's a touchy one. I wish we wouldn't bring it up on the podcast.
You smell.
Thank you. Let's move on. But I want to stay on the sort of honesty side of YouTube. And I thought a cool subject we could talk about is like the biggest thing in YouTube at the moment, clickbait. I think we need to bust it wide open and I don't know, kind of see.
Do you think we talk about YouTube stuff too much on the podcast?
Well, initially I would have thought yes. And I do eventually want to start moving a bit away from it, but people seem to dig it in the comments. People seem to really like hearing.
Do you guys like it in the comments? Do you like we didn't want to do that originally. We were going to talk about other stuff. We were going to be more interesting than this, but it didn't last very long. I
think this might be the last sort of YouTube based one, but no, people last week really did seem to like the inside view of YouTube, because it's a bit of a boys club YouTube. You don't really get to see the inside of YouTube and understand how it all works, and no one really talks.
I don't know if boys club's the right word.
Well, you know what I mean. Agenda.
I know totally what you mean. Yeah, as in like it's you don't like the actual mechanisms are hidden. Like
unless you're part of it and you're successful on the platform, you don't really know the ins and outs of it. You don't understand. It's kind of like going to a musical, or you don't know what happens behind the scenes and stuff like that. So people kind of seem to be interested in that side of it. So I thought, let's do one last episode on the whole thing, and let's do one thing that people don't really acknowledge is clickbait. Which is like the thing that makes you on YouTube, it would seem. But it seems to be coming kind of full circle. Like clickbait's it's got so oversaturated. Everyone is clickbaiting, and it's now who the hell can clickbait the most. But people. Like I for one, I've seen clickbaits and I know there's clickbait, but I've got to click it just in case it's not.
Well, it's actually funny because we were talking about this right earlier. Because obviously Ben does my editing for me, so we talk a lot about like my videos and stuff like that, and we talk about like what I need to do to make my videos do better. Because I mean that's the truth of YouTube. We don't just sit here and like make stuff. Like we have to literally think about it and like figure out what is going to do well and have more views so that more people watch it. Like people might hear that and think, oh, well, that's weird. Like you just want views. No, we just want to get the content out to more people. That's just how it works. Like to make it a successful YouTube channel. Otherwise it wouldn't be here. But like one of the things we were mentioning is like, like that's the thing with the clickbait thing is it's so crazy oversaturated that the thing that's like popular nowadays are like clickbait. Well, I mean, you said, like not clickbaiting, right?
Yeah.
But my like response to that was like, well, it is clickbait, but it's just more clickbait, as in like it doesn't look as crazy, so it's more realistic, it's more believable, and it's like happening with gaming as well. Like simpler, like basic thumbnails that people are like, oh, did that happen? Are doing more Great England, much better than the old stuff where it was just like a million drop to death or something. Things that are a bit more reasonable seem to be doing better nowadays. It's like clickbait is evolving.
And how I was going to say, like, because one problem I always had with my vlog stuff I was doing was if I was to like really clickbait something, I felt bad. Like I didn't want to trick people.
Oh, that goes a long time ago. For
really?
YouTubers.
So I was going to say, do you not really? I don't want to sound hard. Like,
well, it's not that you don't sound bad. It's just like if you're confident with the content behind it, you'll get over.
So it doesn't matter if you trick them into it because it's good content. So it doesn't matter. Like,
well, not necessarily good content. You're just confident that they'll enjoy what they see. It's not always good. But yeah, like that's the thing. It's hard to say.
I think that's my problem. I've got too much of a conscience to be a good clickbaiter. I don't know.
Your content's not good enough. But
yeah, rude. I mean,
is that not what you said?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't mind clickbaiting for you because they're not my viewers. But I've worked hard to get my small collective of viewers. So I think I just always feel bad if I'm doing something that I know is just. It's not a lie, but it's.
But Ben, like, okay, as long as you accept that you don't want more viewers.
Oh, don't put it like that.
But that is how it is.
Yeah, it's sad that it's like that. It's the same as anything. Like I go back to the music industry. Like I've said it before, it doesn't matter if you've got talent. You can be an incredible musician. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it. In fact, it probably doesn't mean you're going to make it. It's about doing the right things, meeting the right people that'll get you there. And it's the same with YouTube. You can be a fantastic career. Doesn't mean you're going to make it on YouTube. You know, you got to play the game. And
yep.
I hate that. I really hate that.
But that's what, like, you know, old school Casey Neistat did as well. Like, his thumbnails were just raw clickbait. But people liked his content after they got clickbaited, so he did well.
So are you saying potentially now Casey doesn't need to clickbait anymore?
I mean, arguably, he's not the hot topic anymore. So
That's true.
A bit. True. I mean, if you compare his vlogs to, like, you have to ignore the quality nowadays. If you compare his vlog views to, and he's not even doing it very regularly anymore, so you can't even say they're vlogs. But if you compare those to, like, the new guys that are on the block, the new kids on the block, then it's like, it's not really a crazy amount.
Yeah. Do you think this is going off subject a little, but I've got to ask, do you think, you might not actually even have a view on it, but do you think Casey, you remember obviously he stopped doing his daily vlogs. I mean, he'd done it for a while, so he'd done the grind, but eventually he said, I'm stopping it. Do you think that the CNN deal he did had much of an impact on that? I mean,
I'm sure it did. The thing is with Casey, he's been in the game for a long time. Like, he's probably already, like, done a lot to the point where it's like he doesn't need to slave away at YouTube. A lot of YouTubers are young and they're like, they don't know what they're going to do for the next 10 years. Within the next 10 years, they're still relatively young. Mm-hmm. Whereas Casey, he's older. He's just like more established. He probably could do fine without it. So it doesn't mean that he has to do it. So when he has like a bigger thing come on, he'll just jump onto that.
See, I find it interesting though, because obviously Casey, like, long before YouTube was a filmmaker, and he has a real love for the art of vlogging and filmmaking.
That's what he says, yeah.
Really? Do you not think that's
YouTube is YouTube, Ben? Like, have you not learned that it's like easy to convey certain things when they're not actually true?
That is true. That is very true. But equally, I mean, you look at he had his own HBO show, which was kind of along the same lines, I believe. You know, he's always seemed to have had a love for filmmaking. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know why he was vlogging. He was doing it all for the YouTube money. But
he said a love, not necessarily, because he didn't necessarily make money from it.
Do you not think?
In the early days, he doesn't.
Oh, not in the early days, sure.
But like, Ben, like, people will do stuff like that for just like genuine fame. Like, for someone like Casey, he might not need money. He might just want more attention. So you don't know that. I'm being skeptical. Like, I'm just saying what it could be.
No, of course.
Some people are simply like more attention, or like feel more successful if they're more popular or something. That's what it could very easily be. I
think it's one of those things you'll never know, which kind of sucks because I'd love to.
Yeah, you can never really know. And I don't care. But you're a star fucker, so you care.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
But I don't. It doesn't bother me. I like to focus on what, like, my own things going on, and in the same way that Casey doesn't care about other people, probably. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was gonna say like someone like Roman Atwood, for example. He probably doesn't need to vlog anymore. Financially, he's probably set. He's probably good. So the question is, do you think he still carries on doing it for himself, or do you think he just wants to keep the money rolling?
How many people in the world have enough money? Do you think there are that have enough money but still work? Like, at a percentage? Probably 90%.
Do you reckon?
And work in some sense. Like, people don't just get to a place where they want and then just sit back and do nothing.
Oh, no, sure. I don't mean that, but I mean like...
I bet you give out Roman Atwood a month of not being on YouTube and he'd probably be bored.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, like, there's so many different things you can do to vlogging. I mean, vlogging is, like we said last week with Geordie, it can become a chore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
when you do it like Geordie is, yeah.
Well, Roman doesn't do it a lot different. I mean, no, I know he goes a bit...
Well, arguably, because the thing is with Geordie is, like, he was usually, like, on his own. So it was... Yeah. It was very... Geordie was very, like, straight to the camera.
Yeah.
Whereas Roman's very, like... is a more of a social vlogging. Mm-hmm. It's like the stuff going on around him that is a vlogging, and that's what he probably wouldn't do half of the interesting stuff he does if he wasn't for filming it. Like I said, Geordie was more of the straight to the camera, like, you I can't imagine there was many shots where Geordie wasn't looking at the lens directly and holding the camera. Yeah, I'm sure he did cinematics and stuff. I mean, you edited it, but it's like majority of it is talking to the audience, talking to the person watching, and we're getting to the point where like that's no longer, people don't want that. People do not want to be spoken to on vlogs. Like think about how many so I mean, like specifically, they don't want to be preached to. I mean, you have that whole thing nowadays where it's like hyping up the people that are viewing, but you're not being conversational. You're not having a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Like you have no business just like talking to people. It's like a lot of the new style vloggers, they just assume the person's listening, whereas like a lot of the old school vloggers would talk directly to the person viewing.
Interesting. How do
it's getting more television-y.
Sure. I have interest because I mean your fingers, because of what you do, you pay more attention to like views and stuff like that to other YouTubers, because I mean I just watch, I don't have much interest in that, but like I mentioned it last week, you introduced me fairly recently to David Dobrik, who I think is fantastic, which is interesting because I said to you, because I didn't know anything about him, and after you showed me a few of his vids, I said to you, did he used to be on Vine? Because you could just tell from his style that it was all Vine but just translated to YouTube, and you were like, yeah, well, that's how he got his fame. I was like, oh, okay. How does he perform on YouTube? Is this because his style is obviously like 10 times different to like Roman Atwood?
Well, he's like a Viner. He's very performancey.
Because I started watching Jason Nash's vlogs, and they're so different to David Dobrik's stuff.
But the thing is, you'd argue that Jason Nash is not as wasn't necessarily a Vine star. He was like a Vine entourage.
I didn't even know. So he was involved in the Vine.
He was Vine, but you'd argue that he was like always the third guy or whatever. Right. Like he is always the third guy. So it's hard. You can't really use them as a point of comparison. But there's no coincidence that if you look at the Vine guys that managed to transfer over to YouTube, they're all very performancy. Like they're not very real in a way. Like a lot of their content is very, very faked.
Yes.
But in a real acted way, almost like actors. Like it's like I always consider them. I mean, the Pauls, for example, are actors. They literally are actors. They've done acting roles.
Yes.
And a lot of the other Vine guys were very good at like doing comedy stand-up style rather than the whole realistic style. So that's like the weird like line with the new style vloggers. And that's what's been doing better as well, because a lot of the reaction guys kind of can translate into that as well.
That's very true, actually, yeah.
To the whole like faking stuff thing, because they had to use other people's content to make content.
Of course. So
like you'll notice that a lot of the new guys, they I mean, David on his own wouldn't be a David Dobrik. Like
no.
David would never be able to do his vlogs on his own. In the same way that Jake Paul, if he lost his crew, he wouldn't be able to do his stuff.
Yep, that is very true.
I doubt that's a coincidence. That's a recurring theme.
So I want to go back to the behind the scenes of YouTube here, and David's videos seem to be sort of like a 4-minute 20 a pop go, and I was just wondering. We're normally under the assumption your videos on YouTube need to be 10 minutes.
That's old school, and the content's different. You can't generalize YouTube.
Oh, really? Interesting. So will shorter videos not damage the potential earnings?
As long as people watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
It might make less money, yeah, because less ads are playing on it.
So here's a question for you. And
you need 10 minutes, like a 10-minute video to put mid-roll ads in.
Okay.
So if he doesn't get that ever, so he makes less money, but his views are still good and he still makes decent money off the ads he does play, is because I'd go ahead and say like he probably has something in like the 80-90% viewer retention. I would
definitely agree with that, yeah. Yeah,
because he's so careful to make sure every single clip is of value to the vlog. Mm-hmm. Whereas most old school vloggers and gaming vloggers don't do that. They don't have that like care. But he's different to Jake Paul in that respect, but Jake Paul uses other means to get people to watch his longer videos, basically.
No, that's one thing I can say about David, is the shortness of videos means you are pretty much definitely going to watch the whole thing, because it's only 4 minutes, and it's pretty. That's the thing I like about the Vine that he brings over to it. It makes it a very fast-paced vlog, and I think in your head to actually turn it off. You're still trying to work out what's going on. I think it's great stuff. I love it.
All right. Anyway, let's move away from talking about other people for a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about us. So, one thing that Amber and I were talking about the other day, which I found quite an interesting subject, was stuff that we were told as kids. Like
interesting.
Like little
Santa's real.
Yeah. Come on, Santa is real. What are you on about?
It's funny. Did I tell you a story about that before?
No, please.
How I found out Santa wasn't real.
Santa's what?
Santa's not real.
All right, whatever. Carry on.
You don't know about Santa?
What about? Yeah, I know Santa.
Yeah, he's not real.
Yeah. Very funny.
Anyway,
yeah.
So basically, my family have always had this like big thing about like promises, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that was because my family usually lied to each other or like I think when I was brought up, my family like they used promises as a way of like telling the truth more dependently, because we did like a lot of white lies and stuff, and like trying to get
very
things.
Dishonest family, basically.
No. We were actually very honest. It's just like if my mum was like, "Did you do this?" I'd be like, "Yeah," and like see if I can get it past her. But like she'll obviously find out, and that's cool. Like, but I'd never like lie something serious to her. But if there was anything, I was always taught when I was a kid, it's like if you ever say "I promise," it has to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a big deal.
That's what me and Amber do too. It's a good way.
Yeah, it's like a really big deal. Now, when that was getting drilled into me as a kid, I was like, okay, that's cool. All right, I understand it. I mean, there's a few other families that do that in England. I've noticed it's not really a thing in America, but a lot of people are very very hard on promises. And when I was getting a bit older, I'm not really sure how old, maybe like 18, and I was starting to get suspicious about Santa. No, when I was getting a bit older, though, when I was starting to get suspicious about the existence of Santa Claus, I actually like walked up to my mom and I was like, promise that Santa's real. And yeah, and that was like brutal because
what does she do?
I'd been living like 8 years of my 8 years of my life where I was like, oh, this is how promises work. Like I have to be like this, and then like my mum could not go back on that amount of time. So like she told me the truth about the fact and stuff like that.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
I literally don't. I mean, it was probably like 50 years ago, but I don't remember when I found out about Santa. It was a while ago. But no, I literally cannot remember how I found out. And I'm glad.
Did Santa even exist when Garrett was young?
I don't think so. It's just like a caveman with like some presents or something. I don't know. Well, I remember the old classic one, which I actually believed as well. I don't know if many kids believe this, but the whole when you make a face or something, pull a face, and your parents say the wind will blow and your face will stick like that.
Yeah.
And I completely believe that, and it actually scared me a little. I don't know where these things get dreamt up. If it's something they were told as kids, or
I think they're like folklore-y type things.
Oh yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think of any more.
I don't. Yeah, I mean that's a very key one.
Yeah,
I feel like you probably should have researched these.
I feel like I should have. Considering
it's kind of your job to do that.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's also my job to keep this quite a casual affair. So,
Stop making excuses for not doing work.
Hey, I'm busy, man. I work for one very successful YouTuber and one mediocre successful YouTuber.
Hey, Jordy's successful.
Hey, boom. All right, well, let's move away from that one then, and let's move on to a few questions from our wonderful audience.
Isn't it a bit early for questions, Ben?
Well, I was thinking we could drag them out.
We got a lot of questions.
We've got a few. We could drag them out.
All right.
So one question was from Pico2772, and they said, "What influence?"
Whoa! Wait a second.
Whoa.
It's time for the special word.
Oh, good call. Okay, what's the word going to be?
It is going to be...
make this good.
Looking around my room for a word.
Dildo?
It is going to be carpets.
Carpets. Okay. So comment
the
carpets
special word is carpets.
If you're still listening.
If you're still listening and you've commented carpets, you will probably get a shout out. Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, don't make any promises because we might forget, but...
yeah, we'll get Ben to make a little list and he'll say everyone's name.
Well, there you go. We're halfway in, and that's the special
But don't
word.
tell anyone. No snitches.
Yes.
No snitches. Snitches get stitches.
Actually, I just realised at the beginning of this podcast when we said about it, people could just go look in the comments and see the word.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We're testing the waters with this. I mean, people might not make it that far into the.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, in the future, people won't have that knowledge that we're going to be doing it at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, very true. All right, we'll try it again in another episode. Not next week though, but you know.
All right, but anyway, carpets and get a shout out.
Okay, right.
Give us views. All right, next.
So PK2772 said 2 questions, one for you, one for me. One for you was, what influenced you to become a YouTuber? That's a good question. I don't even know that, and I know you quite well.
I don't know. It kind of just fell on me, really.
Really?
I didn't really ask for it. I didn't really.
When did you start?
Like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
I just kind of like I mean, I've talked about how I got into YouTube before, right? Like, I think I have.
I mean, talked about how you. I think you talked about how you got successful, but I don't think you ever talked about what. Well, made you start.
I had a friend called Brad.
The Gaming Lemon.
Yeah. So I'd known. I'm sure I've said this before. I've known him for like. I thought I said this in like.
Yeah, but had you already started at this point?
Well, like basically, I made videos on like some old crappy channels in like a long time ago. Like, and Brad was like starting to get good at editing, but I never actually did that bit. I was just like screwing around, like making videos with him. And then he started doing like COD stuff, like getting into the whole Sniper Clans thing.
Right.
Got like maybe like 1,000 subs, which was pretty big, like 6 years ago. And I don't know, like. Basically, he started, doing Minecraft on Xbox and stuff like that, and it was starting to do really well. And he got me in to do a couple of things for him, and then he was like, "Oh, you should make a channel, like do some stuff for yourself." And then I never really used it. Like, I did a couple of videos that he like promoted, and I got like a few thousand subscribers.
Right.
But I was like never too interested, and then I started doing a little bit more. Like I did the Saints Row playlist playthrough. Did a couple of like GTA videos because GTA had just come out around the time.
Right.
And then I went to Gamescom with him as like a just two bros, going to Gamescom.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where we met Jordy and Jelly because they wanted to meet Brad. Because Brad was like getting decently sized at the time.
Right.
And then Jordy and Jelly were like, "Yo, what up? Come record with us." And I'm like, okay, I've kind of got school work to do, but I guess I'll try.
Nice.
Like I said, like I never really
it's just luck
asked
of the draw
for it.
Happened, yeah.
I guess, like I don't know, it just never really, it just happened.
Fair.
I wasn't obsessed with fame when I was a kid whatsoever. Like I was not interested in it at all.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I've always been interested in like making money and business and doing it for myself. I've never really been a fan of working for people, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped it, like me, making a bit of money and being like, oh, I don't have to go work at the local co-op.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went from there. I just kept going with it and haven't stopped since, I guess.
There you go. His question to me was, does Josh or Geordie ever influence you to become a gamer or a YouTuber? Huh.
What does that mean?
Say again?
Like ever influence you to be become a gamer? What does that mean?
I don't think he knows I have a channel. But the answer to that question is, back in the day, before I ever
does anyone know you have a channel?
I do. You do. So that's 2. I'll have you know, over 13,000 people know I have a channel, Josh. So anyway, right. Back in the day, before I did any,
how many viewers?
Back in the day, before I did any YouTube stuff, before I did any YouTube, just before I did any gaming stuff, I was already vlogging. Before I did any gaming stuff, Geordie actually inspired me to do GTA. I stumbled upon him on YouTube. There's this almighty screaming guy, pissed me off for the first couple of times I watched him, and then I kind of just got used to it. And I was like, I don't know, because he was a lot more screamy than he is now. But I kind of like was like, oh, these are actually pretty cool videos, and I haven't played GTA in a while. This looks like really good fun, and so I started doing a bit of GTA stuff online, but it's not as easy as you think it is. I mean, it's easy to record it. Well, easy-ish to record it, but you think it's going to take off because it's really easy to do. It's not. There's a lot of work that goes into it. But I was already vlogging before I knew you guys. But I think equally, the content aside, I think you
being
guys,
around people does influence.
Yeah, I was going to say content aside, I think every time I like hung out with you guys in person, I would get like quite energized about YouTube because I'd see the lives you guys lead and be like, yeah, that's a nice life. I mean, I say that. I mean, it's a hard.
The grass is always greener on the other side, Ben.
I was gonna say like it's a hard life because it's still a lot of work. It's not like you guys are just like chilling out, but you know, it's a good life.
It's a hard nut life for you.
Exactly. So basically, I you know, got inspired by that, and now I have the same life as them, but with just a lot less money. So.
No, you have his old life.
Yeah, I have you guys' old life. Yeah, basically. So it's all good. Right.
But without like the little bit of money that we made at the time.
Okay. Next question. It kind of stems onto this actually. Lucas Blandon said, Josh, do you love your life and do you wish that you could change something about it? That is a good question. I've never actually asked you this.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
It's not rude at all, but
no, I just get bored of the question already. I don't know. It's hard to think. Like I don't know. I've never really been the type of person to think like, oh, my life could be so much better if I had this or did this. Because I still think that like, if you get too caught up with thinking about what could be better, you lose track about getting there.
Yeah.
Like you lose track in terms of like actually making your life better because you spend too much time thinking about my life being better.
Sure. Well, here's another look on it though. I'll just be blunt with it. You know the old saying, "Money can't buy happiness." You know, it's not a secret that you guys earn.
Oh, god damn it! This
got to be asked. You guys earn well. Does that make you happy?
There was like a line that was really good. It was something like, money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy like good times. There's someone made a really good spin on it,
right?
And they made like a good point. It's like it basically is like it does stop you from being unhappy,
right?
Like it does help you from being unhappy.
I've always said, because I strongly disagree with that saying that money doesn't buy happiness. Because I mean, granted, I'm not at the same level as you guys, but I earn well. And I definitely think money does make you happier personally. Like, I think it not as much happy, but it takes stress away. Because like, if you haven't got much money and you got to pay bills to pay for and stuff, you get stressed about it. And if you can pay them comfortably, you're not stressed about it. And I do think I would go as far as saying money can make you happy.
It can make, I think that's the thing. It's like money can make you happier, but it can't necessarily make you happy.
That's true. Maybe I'm just saying it because I'm in Touchwood. I'm in a place where I live in a nice place. I got a girlfriend. I got a family and all this stuff. So money's just a bonus on top of that. I suppose if I was like if I was alone and had a bit of a shitty life and had money, it probably wouldn't make me happy. But
at the end of the day, like the best response to it is, I'm not even quoting anything from this. This is, money can't buy happiness, but neither can not having money.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine seeing.
So which one would you pick? Like. Yeah. I know that does sound like I read it or something, but that just came out of my head. But it's true. I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean what are people trying to say by saying that? Does that mean you should be?
Is it people who don't have the money that are saying money can't buy happiness?
I don't know, but there's a lot of other important things. Like another thing is like there's no like money. It's a lot harder to buy. Like, it's a lot harder to be happy with money when you've got nothing to spend it on, no one to spend it with.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting topic. I don't spend a ton of money. That's the other thing.
Right.
That's the other weird thing about it anyway. So it's kind of hard to say, like, I probably, out of my, like, total income, I probably spend, like, probably less than 5%.
I have to say, like, it is, like, quite a known thing that, people with money are some of the tightest people you'll meet. Like I've got where I used to live, the neighbour, one of our neighbours was quite old, like in their 70s, very wealthy, like had a lot of land as well, lived in a tiny house, barely spent a penny, and it's just like, it just blows my mind. Is it just because they want to hold on to the wealth?
So,
I don't
no, one of my theories behind that is people who are wealthy usually don't get super wealthy from working 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
you don't get super wealthy from working like a dead end, not necessarily a dead end job, but like just a very normal job. Yeah. Now, normal jobs have job security. Mm-hmm. So people who work these normal jobs know that they will get another paycheck next month.
Yes.
Rich people have probably worked their life not in those types of jobs, and they've usually been living their life thinking, I could not earn anything next month.
That's very true.
So the thing is with people who necessarily don't always have a ton of money but are more giving, is because they know that money is going to keep coming and they're not going to give too much and like be stuck in a month's time and not have anything.
I've never looked
Whereas
at it like that, yeah.
Richer people have usually come from money that is more sporadic and could stop at any time. And it's not necessarily a right way to think, because I'd say most people that earn good money from sporadic jobs end up doing well anyway and probably overestimate the amount they could lose. Like, I'm sure that a lot of people could lose 10% of their income and still be doing fine, you know?
Yeah.
But that's one of the ways I see it.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Like, a lot of people genuinely have like crazy job security, like who are on lower income, but they, couldn't be fired for 10 years unless they got like a huge payoff.
I need to sort that out with you and Geordie. That would be a great little thing to have.
Why?
Just
what are you going to do for 10 years? But what are you going to do for on your own?
Well, I want to be with you for 10 years, but this will give me some security and make sure I'm with you for 10 years.
What if we don't want you?
Well, that's the thing. With this, you'd have to have me. You'll give me a big payout. So.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, great. You guys heard
we'll
it.
Pay you minimum wage.
Okay, let's scrap that. Right, okay. Next question. Eli Alton, and it's not much of a question, but he said, I like Ben. I just want to throw that one in there because, thanks.
Oh,
Eli.
well, that is it?
That's it. I like Ben.
You scumbag.
Thanks, Eli.
You are using this podcast to leverage your feelings.
Thanks, Eli.
You scumbag.
You've made me feel great. If anyone wants to drop more comments like that down below, feel free. It perks up my day.
Disgusting.
Wow.
I mean, there's a funny thing actually, is like you get really like happy from people saying things to you.
Oh, big time.
Like we've spoken about this before, but like it's always been confusing for me. It really takes someone to like say something to like perk my day up.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
like it takes like a lot. Like people really get saying like something like that means something to me. If someone was just like, "Oh, you look good today," or "Oh, that was really good work," I'd be like, "What do you want?"
Well, I mean, like someone tweeted me the other day, and this is something I'm interested to get your opinion on. They tweeted me. They'd done like a fan picture of one of our like thumbnails, like redrawn it. And I just replied, "Oh, good job." And they replied, "Surprisingly, how open you are to the fans." Now, granted, I know like this Ouch Potato fan base is minuscule compared to like the Slogan Man fan base or whatever, but like. It always surprises me when people say like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you talked to us," and I think like, well, why the hell wouldn't you? I mean, I get it when you've got over 3 million subscribers, you can't. It's just that's the way it is. But it blows my mind that for smaller people, they wouldn't take the time to be nicer to people, especially people who are watching their content and stuff. Like, and people get so surprised.
It does scale though.
Yeah.
It does scale. Like you can get overwhelmed with like any level of like amount of followers. It's just like surround yourself with 10 people all talking to you and you'd get overwhelmed. Now you could have 10 people surrounding you at 1,000 subs, you could have 10 people surrounding you at 1,000,000 subs. It doesn't change anything. Like the level of tolerance doesn't change the more followers you get.
But I find myself asking the question, and it's a lame question, but it has to be asked. Is it not cool to reply to fans?
Yeah, I guess probably not. No, I mean it depends. It depends how it's done. Like people use replying to fans in a certain way to like look good. So I guess it's cool if you do it in a certain way.
That kills
me.
Like
I have a feeling that people just replying to subs on the down low doesn't happen a lot. People like are usually fairly like people aren't usually great people. Like. There's usually a reason. Like you won't get someone will be talking to fans on the down low because they want the fans to like make them feel good. That would probably be why.
Interesting.
Like I doubt that they'd be doing it to like service the fans. People are usually very selfish. They'll probably want they probably want to feel good, or they just want. I mean, like you see, like it's been happening a bit. Like go on, Frankie, you see recently. There's like YouTubers who are using that, talking to their fans to like get with them.
No way.
Like, yeah, that happens like a lot, and like it's just like really bad. Like just pretty disgusting how it happens. But usually, there's something else.
That is rife in the music industry. I should point that out as well.
I can imagine.
Yeah, man. Because I mean,
but then it's rife in the world, Ben.
That is very true. It's just
easier online.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, next one is from. I'm so sorry if I say your name wrong. Shriram Beragu, I think it is. Again, I'm so sorry if I get it wrong. I just picked this one because it's very similar to a lot of other comments. Could we get face cams or different pictures on the screen? It's quite boring to look at one thing. And then he also said, or release this on SoundCloud. We get quite a few people asking if we can release it on SoundCloud, and I personally haven't done that because
I don't know much about SoundCloud.
I read an article recently basically saying that they've just fired like a massive chunk of their staff, and they're actually about to go under. So I kind of thought, what's the point?
Well, someone would buy it. I think we should put it on SoundCloud. You should put this on SoundCloud, Ben.
Should I put it on SoundCloud?
If people are asking for it, do it.
All right, I'll put it on SoundCloud.
And you guys can. There'll be a link in the description of this video.
Yeah. Shall I just put them all on SoundCloud?
Yeah, put them all on SoundCloud. If you guys want to listen to it on SoundCloud, that'll be in the description.
Yes.
I guess that's good because you guys can listen on your phones quite easy with SoundCloud. You can also listen on iTunes. Obviously, that link. I was going to say there is
iTunes. I mean,
but not everyone has iTunes. So
that's true. Okay. But the original question is the age-old face cam thing. Everyone seems to be asking about. It
doesn't basically right now. Like we don't have enough time to put we can't put a lot of time into the podcast. Like you guys might enjoy it, but it's not like a bit like it doesn't make a lot for us. It doesn't necessarily like it's a good way. We're basically putting as much time into it as we can right now.
Yeah.
I'd say like any more than this, and it's like getting a bit tough to handle. And unless we get something back from it, and we're not at the moment, which is like fine with us. But I'm just being honest, you know.
I think it might be cool, like Alyssa said, if just every now and again, very sporadically, very rarely, we'll just chuck one episode out which has a face cam, and people are like, oh shit, there's face cam on this one. Yeah, this is different.
Well, I mean, I was thinking like we could very easily do. I mean, like one way of possibly doing it, I don't know what you guys think in the comments, but is we could do a special where we're next to each other talking. And I could put that on my actual main channel.
Oh, nice. That'd be cool.
But so as a way to like promote, to show people that, like obviously it might completely do terrible.
Yeah.
But it's just doing like one every maybe 10 episodes or something on the main channel, so that people are like, okay, if you guys want to listen to us anymore, you can go listen to it on here.
So it's interesting because it's tough one because obviously this is a podcast. So you know
but our viewers aren't used to podcasts.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, you must have heard of Howard Stern. Do you know Howard Stern?
No,
wow.
I recognize the name.
Yeah, he's like a massively popular shock American DJ in New York. He has an incredible film called Private Parts, which you should watch. It's basically the story of his life. It's really good. But like he's massive. He gets all the big guests, and he has a radio show, which is on Sirius. But he also films the whole thing. And if you go on YouTube, there's loads of clips. And I love. I'll often have it in the background while I'm doing thumbnails or whatever. But then also, I love watching it when I'm not working. It's just fun to have something visual to watch and see what's going on. So I get why people are commenting it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's just like I said, hard for us to do right now.
I think if the podcast becomes more of a sustainable business, so to speak, it'd be worth doing it.
I mean, it's the age-old thing. It's like if we, could make more off of this, it means we can put more money back into it. It's just how it is right now. Time is money as well, and we can't put a hell of a lot of time into it. But like I said, maybe if I do a special episode on the channel, maybe that is enough to start pushing it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We will find out.
Yes,
we will find out.
We'll do some market research on your channel.
Let us know what you guys think realistically in the comments.
Yeah, down below. Let us know how important are face cams to you. Do you really want them, or are you not that bothered? It's just a cool idea.
Because it's just I'm sure people want them, Ben. That's not really that like a good question because
forget that question. No. Forget that question. Josh, take it over, please. What's the question?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, just tell us what you guys think about what we're talking about. Yeah, it's not because we told you guys why we may not be able to do it, and you let us know what you guys actually think.
Mm-hmm. Right, I'm gonna go for one more before we go. This is my god, another bloody Georgos Galanakis.
You should probably try the names out before.
Georgos I don't know, Geargos Galakis.
What are you saying, Geargos?
Geargos, G-I-R, or is it Georgios? G-I-R-G-O-S. How would you say it?
I don't. That you've said it.
We're going with Geargos. Geargos Galakis. I can't remember if we've touched on this. I don't think we have. But what do you think you're going to do after YouTube?
Didn't we talk? We did talk about this
At length.
Decently.
I don't remember what the answer to that was.
I'm gonna. It's hard to think because I'm just gonna focus on like what I'm doing until it.
Well, let me rephrase that then. Actually, how much life do you think there is left in YouTube? Obviously, you don't know, but how much life do you think there is left in YouTube? If you had to guess.
I think that it will evolve soon. Maybe in 2 or 3 years.
Evolve
slowly over a year. Like it will evolve into the next type of thing. Like YouTube is an evolution in itself, like from online content, and the internet will evolve and things will evolve with it. It's the same way that Vine died. Things evolve. Vine died because Twitter wanted to move. Didn't think it works. Like they wanted to push their content, their services elsewhere, and that just happens as soon as YouTube won't want to stop making money.
Yeah,
they won't stop changing, and the world will change around it. Trends change, and we'll see how it goes. But I think we'll start seeing some really big movements in the next year or two, but they'll take a year or so to develop.
That's interesting. I'm quite excited to find out what they are. I guess we'll find out in due time. Cool. Well, I think that's all we've got time for this week. But it's been a good one. It's I guess it's maybe time to have a guest next week. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting question as well. Let us know in the comments below. Do you guys prefer it when it is just Josh and myself, or do you like having guests on? I'd be interested to know that.
Yeah, because we've got plenty of people we can get guests on. But and also, how often do you guys want guests?
Yeah,
type of thing. Let
us know your opinion on the guest situation, guys. So remember to hit down in the description for iTunes and now a SoundCloud link as well, and drop questions down below in the comments for next week's podcast, and we will try to get them if we can. Josh, I hope you have a more entertaining week this week than you did last week, because it sounded quite bland, if I'm honest.
I hope you are okay.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. Cool. Are you going to do some outro music for me, or are we just going to end it dry?
No, only guests have to do it.
Only guests do it. Okay, right. Okay. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Josh, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.